Oh boy, this is not going to be fun to make. You may have heard in the past week that Messi has been facing quite the media firestorm in China. For context, he was adored in China. And then Hong Kong happened. For those of you who are less informed of the situation, in Inter Miami's preseason tour, they stopped by Hong Kong to play a match against a Hong Kong All-Star team. The event was heavily marketed as featuring Messi. In the end, he didn't play a single minute. This obviously disappointed the fans, especially considering the extensive lengths they went to see him, from expensive costs to, climbing hills to see him. And in the end, he didn't even play. Not a single minute. The cited reason was injury. Inter Miami said that he had been nursing an injury, and so he didn't play, but apparently that injury didn't stop him from playing in Japan just a few days later. I should probably preface this by saying there have been a few Ronaldo fans on social media who have been criticizing Messi for this, and I should probably say outright as well. I am a Barcelona fan, as some of you may know. Before this whole thing happened, I was firmly on the Messi side of the Messi versus Ronaldo debate. Well, I might still be. I'll get to that part. And I'm also a Chinese person. I'm a Chinese Canadian man. So I have a side in both perspectives, and yeah, this has not been fun. Not enjoyable in the slightest. Fans were rightfully furious with Messi, and the fallout was so bad that China even refused to host an upcoming tour with the Argentina national team. I mean, when you ask me how I feel about this whole controversy, in all honesty, I don't really know what to feel. I mean, where do I even begin with this? Let's start with my Barcelona side. Messi has apologized in the media, and look, being a Barca fan, this man will forever be a legend to my club. I mean, I will always be grateful. Nothing will change what he has done for Barcelona. But man, he completely disrespected the fans that day, many of whom were my compatriots. And I understand the argument that, injuries do happen. Back when I visited Paris and watched a PSG game along the way, I was lucky that Messi didn't get injured or suspended beforehand because, that can happen. I didn't see Neymar for the same reason. If it had been only the injury thing or only him not playing, I would have given him some leniency or the benefit of the doubt because, after all, even if he wasn't injured, he's not the one who decides the lineup. But that's not the problem here. The problem was how he behaved towards the fans. Reportedly, not only did Messi not play, he also didn't sign autographs, he didn't take photos with the fans. Nothing. He basically ignored them. This is especially bad when the entire event is marketed around featuring you as a player and you don't play a single minute, you don't sign autographs, don't take photos, pretty much don't even acknowledge the fans, who, by the way, paid ludicrous prices and went through extreme lengths just to see you play, and then this whole thing happens. So you can kind of understand why the fans are furious with him. As a side note, though, there are those Chinese fans who do take it too far on Chinese media. There have been rather viral photoshops of Messi in an Imperial Japanese Army uniform, basically implying that he likes Japan more than China, so he supports Japanese nationalism/militarism. Considering the history between China and Japan. Now, look, I don't think that's the real reason. To be clear, though, if that was the real reason, I would be outraged. I would be furious because, assuming it is true, he doesn't know what that entails. He doesn't know how much dark history that has. Because, it's especially wounding that the Japanese government tries to downplay or sometimes just outright denies the history ever happening. And, it's not just China either. It's all Asian regions that Japan has occupied during World War II. But we'll just focus on China for the purposes of this video. But again, I don't think that's the real reason. And assuming it isn't, even assuming it isn't, I would be lying if I said I wasn't incredibly disappointed with Messi's behavior. You know, I tried to give him leniency. In Japan, he didn't play for just a few minutes, he played for 30 minutes. Even assuming that he did make some kind of miracle recovery in a few days, because the injury, he made it sound minor, still, he didn't have any reason to disrespect the fans. It's pretty common for athletes when they don't feature in a game that was marketed around them. It's pretty common for athletes to offer compensation by, signing autographs or taking photos or shaking hands, meeting the fans. But Messi did none of that. And I don't know why. It's baffling to me because this is so out of character for him. I don't remember hearing anything about Messi doing anything this drastic. And while, yes, athletes do have the right to avoid seeing fans, they are people just like us, they went through such extreme lengths, such ludicrous prices, specifically to watch him play. And he doesn't even acknowledge them. I mean, after all of that, don't you think you owe the fans at least something? Look, my thoughts in this video have been really scattered because it's just been so hard to make this. And I did mention earlier that I used to be on the Messi side of the Messi versus Ronaldo debate. Right now, yes, footballing wise, he is still the greatest, but based on how he treated those fans, man. So I guess I'm temporarily suspending my status as a Messi fan. We'll have to see what new developments come out, if there are any. It's just been hard. I mean, put yourself in my shoes for a moment. The one player who has been so loyal, so crucial to your club's success for 20 years. And he goes and does something like this. He disrespects fans. He snubs fans, many of whom are your compatriots. How would you feel? But anyways, for now, only for now, I don't identify myself as a Messi fan. I am still 100% a Barca fan. Nothing about that has wavered. It's just Messi alone. And yeah, I can understand why China refused to host the friendlies because this was just mind-boggling. Although I do think it was slightly extreme. What they could have done instead was host the friendlies but just ban Messi himself from playing. Or, entering the country or something. But yeah, I have suspended my status as a Messi fan. For now, I will no longer identify myself as a Messi fan. I don't know if by some miracle Messi manages to reconcile with China. Maybe I'll go back to being a Messi fan, but given how extreme the reaction was to him not playing and barely acknowledging the fans, I have real doubts that that'll ever happen. But that's just my opinion. I'm open to the idea that I could be wrong or there's something I'm overlooking. If I did miss anything, please let me know in the comments because this has been a tough one to make.